Good evening. This is David Lynn, also known as the Prepper Principal, and this is Coffee Talk number 288 live stream, right at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. This is August the 7th, 2024. Good evening, Stephanie. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the like. Hope you're having a good day. Well, this was the second day of what they call nuts and bolts for school. Hello, Melinda. Thank you. So this was the second day of what they call nuts and bolts. And that's basically all the stuff the office powers that be I want to go over with you, like the school handbook, the student handbook, procedures, everything on the planet. Trainings. I've had to watch so many videos, it's not funny. Trainings, you have to get a certificate, you have to send it to somebody, you got to sign off on this and that, and just absolutely crazy. Hello, Wayne, Becoming Dangerous. Hope you're doing well, Wayne. And thank you for linking channels, Melinda. God bless you for that. Been a long day and I am tired. Talk to you a little bit about my schedule. Hello, Stephanie Hicks. Thank you for coming in. I got up this morning about 5 o'clock. I was at school this morning at about 6:45. Training in our school library, at least I had comfortable seating, and just listen to them, go through all their spiel. If I had a week to be absent, other than time working in my room and working out who's on my schedule student wise and trying to get ready and being there for my paraprofessionals that are basically, it's a team effort. If it wasn't for that, I would not want to be there this week, because just a lot of, when I came in last year, I had to watch the same 16 videos. I had to sign off on the same 16 videos, and that took a good chunk of a day. So I pretty much have the roster of my kids. I'll have 6 kids, 3 8th graders and 3 7th graders. Working in the room, making sure that I got stuff for the kids. I'll do hello, Isabar, thank you for coming. I will do another short scan of the room when we get it pretty much done. We keep moving stuff around and adjusting stuff, and we got stuff we got to put away. And once I get it looking the way it'll look, I'll do another short so you can compare. You can look at the first one, you can look at the second one, then you can look at the third one and see, oh, changes. Um, it has been hot, and this week it's been dry. Grass is still growing like crazy. Everything's green from all the rain we've been getting. It was pretty bad. Didn't do it this last weekend, so this weekend, Saturday, my yard guy and I will. It'll be a day. It will be a day trying to get the yard done. I look forward to this coming school year. I've got a great administrative team. I've got a great right hand, that's like the right hand, the arm, the brain, I've got somebody that can basically take care of me. I'm blessed to have it. And, had to go over to one of the high schools today to sign up for all the benefits and, the benefit thing. Being retired, my retirement insurance is better than the active insurance, and I pay $200 a month. The district pays $300 a month for active insurance, but I'd have to pay more than the $200 I'm paying, with the district paying $300, and it still wouldn't be as good an insurance as my retirement insurance. So I'm happy to basically put out a couple $100 a month for my retirement insurance. And in 7 years being retired, this is my 7th year being retired, they haven't raised the rate once. It's still $200 a month. And I'm drinking tea. Stopped after school and picked up a tea. Life is good with tea. In the morning, I start off with coffee. Go to work with coffee. Drink coffee during the day. Today for lunch, went to the Walmart on the other side of town, which is a lot closer to my school. Went in there and got some bean bags and some carpets and such for the kids, for extra kids that I have. And I was blessed to have my paraprofessional come with me. And we had lunch at, she had coupons, so we had lunch at Subway. And that's basically been my meal today. That's some coffee and some tea. I didn't have breakfast. I had coffee. I did not have supper. I'm having tea. And I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. One good meal. Yes, mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are horrible. Horrible. I want to lose some weight, so I'm trying to eat less. I basically have right here, this is where the fat is. Everything else looks good. Well, I'm bald, but that's, neither here nor there, but it's right in the belly. I've got a Santa belly, or dad bod. Dad bod, grandpa bod, whatever you want to call it. Everything else is just fine. 9 in the house. 7 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So let me go over some statistics and then we'll start talking prepping. I'm still at 1,676 subscribers. So I'm basically where I was yesterday. It is what it is, I grow and then I don't grow. If you want to have an opportunity to have your name in the hat, it'll be the camouflage hat. If you look at one of my other giveaways, I use a camouflage hat and I put the names in the hat. You know, if you want to qualify to have your name in the hat when I do the drawing, when I hit 1,700 subscribers, which I'm 24 short, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I release. Mr. Whistle, thank you for coming in. When I hit that 1,700, I'm going to go 5 videos. And I'm looking for people who have left me a supportive comment on each of the last 5. Now, you know, it's sad that I say this, but when I hit 1,600 subscribers and I did my subscriber giveaway, I only had 9 channels. I only had 9 people who were qualified for my giveaway. I had people who left me supportive comments on 3 of them. I had people who left me support comments on 4 of them. I only had 9 people who left me supportive comments on the last 5. So if you want an opportunity to be in that, you need to make sure that I get a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5. And if you won before and I pull your name, you can win again. I'm not gonna, or if I've sent you a goodie box before, I'm not gonna prevent you from being a winner. And I will be sending out some second round goodie boxes for those of you who I've sent goodie boxes to before. I'll be sending out some second round. I'm in the process of trying to put stuff together and figure out what I'm going to put into it. And I'm glad you're doing really fantastic. I'm really glad you're doing fantastic. 10 likes. Thank you for the likes. 9 in the house, 10 likes. Thank you, everybody. Hold up. Where are you at here? Top chat. Where are we at? Wheat. Okay, Wheat. My friend, Wheat and Shaw. You got standard moderator, Wheat. Mommy Pearly Vogue. Welcome, Mommy. Looking to see who all's in here. Somebody snuck in on me. 13 in the house, 11 likes. So let's talk a little bit about prepping. I'm sorry to say, but we're in hurricane season. And hurricane season is June the 1st till November the 1st. Also, the United States has a real bad reputation for tornadoes. We average over 1,500 a year. And periodically, those things hit an area, and they do billions of dollars worth of damage. It's almost like having a hurricane. The only difference being is that when they hit, they're hitting an area, a smaller area, but they can do a lot more damage in those small areas because the winds are a lot higher. So, you know, we've got to be prepared when there are power, you know, a lot of people get affected with power outages. If there's a storm, a winter freeze, hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, get these wildfires, get out of control, you've got to be prepared. Now, you can be prepared to stay where you're at. It's called bug in. You can be prepared to get out of Dodge. It's called bug out. But you got to have some place to go. You don't just say, I'm going out in the woods. That's not it. You're not, rational mind going out in the woods. Now, if you have a country home or a country cabin and it's set up and you've got all the amenities or you're able to live out there, like, you've got the money and you've got a second place, great. I mean, if you have the opportunity to live out in the country, that'd be my number one place to want to live, is out in the country. If you've got running water, if you've got it set up where you've got power, if you've got solar where you can have power when the electricity's out, because some people are off grid and they're not using electricity. They've got solar. They've got wind and they got solar. Then that's great. And I say more power to you, and I'm jealous. Because if something happens, here I am. This is where I'm at. All my stuff is here. I have, we all have bags with stuff. But it's like, a carry bag is to get you from one place to another. It's not to live off of for the rest of your life. It's just to get you where you're going. Your car breaks down, there's some sort of outage, and you're 20 miles from home and you gotta walk it. Or 30 miles from home and you gotta walk it. You need what you need you can spend overnight. You need, some sort of way to shelter yourself, keep yourself warm. You need to make sure you've got water. You got to have a little food to eat, flashlight, emergency radio, medication if you take medication, something to defend yourself, Some people, well, I don't, want a gun. I don't want to carry a gun. Well, there's pepper gel, pepper spray. Having a walking staff, like a stick, a big stick, long stick, that you can whack a dog with if they try to mess with you, or to defend yourself. Having a rain poncho, having an emergency blanket. These little cheapos. I mean, just something that helps you. Having a little emergency camp stove that you can heat some water with. You want to have coffee, and you got some little sachets of coffee, or you got Folgers, or whatever whatever it is you want. Tea, you can heat water for hygiene or for, to make you something. Or you've got some freeze-dried food that you need to reconstitute, and you need boiling water for it. Well, there you go. Have a little camp kit. Stainless steel. Got to talk about those kind of things. Oh, I see Double Dog came in. Double Dog, I am praying for you. Hope you're doing good. Man, I've been talking prepping, and all of a sudden I'm down to 6 people in the chat. What in the world happened? Did I scare somebody off talking about preparedness? I don't know. Maybe I want to hear more about my day. I don't know. But the Black Widow. Hello, Black Widow. Widow, you sent me a link and I hadn't looked at it. I'm sorry, I've been working. I guess that would be an unboxing of that box I sent you. Is that what it is? I tell you what, last night I had my lowest viewership for a live stream in a long time. I had 39 views last night. I mean, I got over 10 watch hours from it. I mean, it wasn't like high watch hours, but anytime I pick up at least 10 when I do a live stream, I'm okay with it. I had 10 watch hours last night, but I had the smallest viewership I've had. Chat rate was only 2, and my peak concurrence were 13. I had a lot of people, that I know, my people, that are, good people. I had 19 different people that identified themselves that are friends that came in. And, but I only had 39 views. So there were some lurkers, but weren't many. Every once in a while, yes, if you're in the Smokies, there are some high peaks. Rocky Mountains, high peaks. Smoky Mountains, high peaks. Well, God bless you. Save some for me. You're in a good area. You're in a good area. So, right now, I'm sitting for the last 28-day cycle at 18,100 views, which could be better, but I'm not going to complain. There are days I didn't do anything, didn't put out anything, didn't live stream. So, when you take into consideration, I mean, I'm averaging over 1,000 views a day right now for the actual days that I've been putting out content. I mean, I'm happy. Anytime I got 1,000 views in a day, I'm happy. Now, I'm sure that's small fry compared to some folks, but for me, I'm happy. I'm not monetized. I'm not in a hurry to get monetized. I've got to get my colleague to help me get monetized. So she's got to look up that, I'm trying to recruit a co-pilot. And she said she was going to look into what do you need to do? How do you go about getting monetized? So she's going to look into that for me. Watch time is way down, because like I said, I was at 439 watch hours, which is way down. I'm way over the requirements to get monetized. You have to have for full monetization, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 watch hours. I had 4,000 watch hours 6 months ago, so I just didn't apply. But I'm planning on doing it. So talking about things that you need to do. You need at least one good filter. You need a good water filter. Now, you can spend an arm and a leg and get something that's not portable, or you can get like a Life Straw or a Sawyer, something that's filtered. You put water in, it cleans it, you can drink it. You never get pool water. Never in your life try to drink pool water with a filter or anything. You're going to kill your kidneys. Don't do it. You're not looking for pool water. You're not looking for anything that's nasty. You want a clean source of water, like rainwater. Rainwater. You got a rain catchment system? Rainwater. There is a flowing river, a flowing stream, a lake, a well, You know, I've got a water well, but really the water's hard. It's very mineral. You would not want to drink it. Mm-mm. Nope, you would not want to drink it. But it's good for watering the yard. It's good for watering the garden and watering the yard. But wouldn't want. You could bathe in it, but you wouldn't want to drink it. It's hard water. Um, so, like I said, you can get a straw. You can also get tablets. Tablets. Uh, Potable water purification. No iodine, taste, or color. Germicidal tablets. PA plus. So you get 2 bottles with 50 each. Part A and Part B. You have to use both. You put Part A in, let it dissolve, wait a little while, then you put Part B in, let it dissolve, stir it up and everything, wait a little while, and then it's reportedly drinkable. Now you want to filter it first. So I'm using this just as an example. This is a small filter. I'd use something bigger. But you can use a filter, and then you can use a coffee filter, which you would stick in your filter, in your funnel, and you would strain it for like anything like little particles or anything. This will get rid of the small particles, and then you treat the water. Likewise, you can get a kit to test water. If I was out and about and I was someplace where I would be testing my water sources. I only drink bottled water, purified water. I would be testing my water sources. And this can test for all sorts of stuff. Get yourself a test kit. And it's not real big, small. Joseph Moore, my friend, hello. Welcome. Worry not, you're on time. Drinking tea, iced tea. Life is good with iced tea. So I was over today, 10 in the house, 15 likes. I was over today, I was having deja vu. I had not been, I haven't been to any of the campuses over my retirement. For one thing, I left before I retired. So it has been it'd been 10 years since I've been a VISD administrator. 10 years. Last several years I had left and went to another district. I was a principal over there. And I used to, when I was a principal before in VISD, I was in a position where I had to go to different campuses, the secondary campuses. And I used to have to go over to the high schools, the 2 high schools, and I have to go to the middle schools, and and I was my campus was connected to the central office before I left. And I have a graduate degree in career education, and I was the principal for all the programs that were career education programs. And I was also the special populations coordinator for the district. So I basically tried to make sure we were in compliance and working on the federal, career grant and such. Also helping out with the special ed, making sure that, there's stuff related to special. I wasn't connected with special ed, but there was things that were special ed related that I also helped out with, making sure that kids had, articulated, plans and such that they could, you could declare. But I've been to both of the high schools in the last week. Speaking deja vu, you start having flashbacks and thinking about stuff from like back in the days, from when I used to, you talk to people. Things have changed. The laws have changed. The way things are done have changed. Um, used to be you had problems with the kid got out of line, they, did something they really shouldn't do. Police officer put them in handcuffs. Whether they arrested them or not, they'd handcuff them to calm them down, and until they settled down, and then they'd let them out if the police officer was around. You know, nowadays they don't like to do that. They do not like to intervene with the kid if they don't have to. Not that they ever like to, and not that they should have to, but I mean, the thing is that's what they're there for. They're there for security. They're there for some case some nut walks into your building or tries to get into your building. They're armed. You've got an armed police officer, or law enforcement. In our school district, it's the sheriff's department. It used to be the police department, and then the sheriff. They gave it up, and the sheriff's department took it over. They called them school resource officers. And in the state of Texas, the state mandates that all campuses have armed officers, armed security. They had to put that in place last year. Yeah, a lot has changed. Well, people don't like to, I'm old school. I'm real old school. I grew up at a time, and discipline was a lot better back then. I grew up at a time when adults had the threat of paddling for all students as a deterrent. Most kids know it's like having a big dog behind your fence. Don't go there unless you're nuts. Most kids know if they can pull you aside, have you bend over, and beat your butt with a paddle, and that could happen because that you see it happen occasionally. Most kids are going to behave. Now, there are occasions somebody does something stupid, and administration's got to get involved, and they're going to paddle somebody. I used to deal with that. But they changed the laws to where they had to have parental consent. Used to be, you didn't have to notify the parent. They didn't have to have parent consent. The teacher, the coach, the principal, or whoever would take that kid. They would ask a second adult to witness it. They'd take the kid aside and they'd beat their ass. They would issue paddles with grade books back in the days. And discipline was a lot better back then. Now, yeah, they had kids that were bad, that no matter what you did, they were going to be bad. But they were a very small number, as I recall. And I can imagine somebody, he's talking about violence. He's talking about being violent and abusing the kid. It's not abuse, it's discipline. Nowadays, they changed the laws. Teachers don't paddle kids. Well, in some school districts they do. Sometimes you'll have a coach. Like when I was a principal, I never paddled a female student. I knew a principal who would, and he did, and I witnessed a few of them. I've never paddled a female student. I never would. Now, I paddled quite a few kids, elementary, middle school, and high school. And I used to have the elementary principal call me over from a prior district and would ask me to paddle kids for her. She didn't want to paddle kids. So she'd call me over, I'd take my paddle over, and I'd deal out discipline to it, And then I would spank them accordingly. I mean, I'm not going to come like the kid's a high school kid when they're in elementary school. I'm not going to try to hit a home run with them. My goal is to basically make sure they cry. When I paddled a kid, and I assigned them 3 licks, I would basically want to make sure they cried. The first one I gauge. Sometimes they start crying after the first one. I wouldn't give them the other 2. The second one, I, you know, I'd fire for effect. I'd shoot for effect. And 90% of the time, that second one, they were crying. I wouldn't give them a third. If it was a tough kid, a big kid, and 2 didn't get it, it's use the force, And usually, you make a believer out of them. Rarely did I have to paddle a kid a second time. Mayor Ben, hello, Mayor Ben. Thank you for coming in. But I'm telling old war stories. I mean, I was an administrator long enough that I can tell stories about just about anything. I can tell you things that happened back in the day that made the news. Not mentioning any names of any adults or any students or anything else. It's all confidential. But I will tell you, where I work, I've got a great staff. It's a great staff. Great support staff. The school secretary is outstanding. The counselors are great. The secretaries, the AP secretary is we're talking, you earn your money when you're doing these jobs. The custodians, we got good custodians. And, I talk to people, I talk to administrators, and I tell them, you take care and you treat your secretary and you treat your custodian like gold, because they can save you or they can sink you. And I tell people, treat people the way you want to be treated. Is a lot of it's cliches. Do unto others as you have others do unto you. Get up every morning, thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. Say the Lord's Prayer. It's in the scriptures. Say the Lord's Prayer. You take medication. You gotta have routines. You get to a certain age, you got a routine going. You get up, you take your coffee, you take your medication. You might eat some toast, or might eat a little something other. Whatever's your pattern. You take a shower. Get cleaned up, shave or trim or whatever. Get cleaned up, go to work. Or if you're retired, whatever you do, your routines. And a good leader is a good follower, and a good leader leads by example. I blow my horn because I did this for 30 years. Now I'm doing it again. Except now I am a follower. I'm not a principal now. I am a teacher. I started out as a teacher. I taught for 7 years, and then I went to administration, and worked my way up in different positions. And I've got stories every year for how things are and how things were. Mike Crusher Reviews. Thank you for coming in, Mike. Another great friend and an outstanding, he does outstanding reviews. He does food reviews. He does ration reviews. He really puts out some good stuff. He's one of my former subscriber winners. And as I was telling a story, I tell stories. I was telling a story about, I use him as an example. For whatever reason, it took 3 weeks, almost a month, before Mike got his box. And it wasn't because I didn't mail it. I sent it out in the mail with the tracking number. and it left and it went to Corpus, which is 2 hours south of me, and then it went to Dallas, which is, if I'm driving, a good 7 hours north of me. And the tracking basically stopped at that. It said in transit, and it kept saying in transit. And I was really upset because that's like about $100. And I'm thinking, God dang it, I'm gonna have to send him another box because it got lost. And I have to think it had something to do with that thing that happened up, because he's up in Ohio. I have to think it had something to do with that train derailment thing they had, up there, that somehow it got sidetracked into a smaller, or got left at a smaller post office or something other, or the transit, it got stored. And it didn't get, and it just didn't. And then finally, after they got things straightened out, it got delivered by Pony Express. Could be that the horse rode all the way, the rider rode all the way. But jokingly, Mike said, I got to pet the horse, when the Pony Express dropped it off. But that's a one time that's happened. Usually, they say the box is coming, you get a day early or you get a day late. Sometimes you get it on the day you're supposed to. But I mean, I've had a number of times, depending on where it is, they get it a day early, and then sometimes they get it a day late. But those boxes have always come through, thank God, knock on wood, whatever. I sent my cousin. Now, this is a second cousin. This is my first cousin's daughter, who just turned 31. And my cousin's about my age. I've got about a year on her. So her daughter had a birthday, and she doesn't have, I'm like the closest thing she probably has to an uncle, and she hasn't seen me since she was a kid, because I live in Texas and she lives in Georgia. So I sent her a birthday card with a $20 gift card in it to Starbucks. She should have got it 2 Fridays ago. Didn't get it. I said, be checking the mail. Didn't get it. And then I start getting daily notes. Nope, didn't come. Then she stopped sending me notes. I said, God darn it. Well, after, a couple of days ago, I think it's been a couple of days now, I get a text from her. She got it. So I'm thinking, it took 2 weeks to get something that the girl should have gotten in 3 days. It took 2 weeks. And I'm just glad she got it, because, I thought it got misdelivered. And it might have got misdelivered, and some kind soul put it back in the mail, and then they delivered it right. Because I've done that before. I get stuff from other people that should be in somebody else's box, and I put it back in the mail. And if it's the box next door to me, I put it in their box. But I do that. I always put it back. I don't chunk it. And I told you all about a week or so ago, I got a package from Amazon that a little old man from three streets over said that it got delivered to him. And he was kind enough to bring it over and give it to me. Now, it could have been, something happened. Somebody else got it and said, thank you. So I called Amazon, and they told me it was a UPS delivery. I said, well, you all need to, make note and say something to somebody, because things are getting pretty bad. Let me look to see if anybody else came in, because I've been on a rant. Hillbilly Josh. Welcome, Hillbilly Josh. So, like, nowadays, everything is basically credit, debit. You got card, or you got your phone set up, and you wave the phone, or whatever, and whoop, payments get made. Comes out of your account. I get notifications every time something comes out of my account. So, when I go and buy food, and I want to leave a tip, I don't leave a tip on my card. I leave cash. I'll give them cash. My standard cash tip is $5. I'll give them $5. A lot of times they put it in their pocket. I mean, they want to charge you tax on tips. They want you to report tips or charge tax, and then oftentimes they want people to share out the tips. You know, like you got to put in a community jar and everybody gets a chunk or a piece of it. I go and I'll give it to them and say, "This is for you." I don't. I don't. Um, I don't donate to charities the way I used to. I donate to people. If I see somebody needs some help, I help them if I can. Um, I feel like, my channel is like a teaching opportunity. It's like a ministry. Teaching is a ministry. It is. And they used to call Jesus teacher or rabbi, which means teacher, you know, translates basically as a teacher. And I try to, I advise people. People call me, they text me. I give out you send me an email. My email's in all the description of all my videos. So I put my email there. You can email me your phone number, or just email me if you want to, and I'll email you back. Or you email me your phone number and I'll text you. Do you want to talk or do you want to text? Some people, they want to text. Some people want to talk. You know. I mean, I give my opinion, I give my advice. It doesn't cost you anything. Take it for what it's worth. You're not paying for it. It's just free advice based on my experience. And I give sincere advice. I'm not going to BS you, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to BS. I'm not going to BS advice. If I don't know, I'll let you know I don't know. With age comes they say with age comes wisdom. Well, I've known a few young people who are pretty wise, but truly with age and experience comes wisdom. You learn from experience. Some of it's bad things happen. Some of it's good. Keep your eyes and your ears open. Learn from what's going on, learn from people. So, everybody's greeting everybody. So, like when I send out a goodie box to somebody, it's just me trying to bless somebody. Some people struggle financially, and they'd like to do more, and they can't. It would be, if I had Elon Musk's money, I'd be blessing people. I would truly be blessing people with large amounts to help them retire. I'd bless people. Elon Musk does, he does some good stuff, and he helps people. He does. Donald Trump, a lot of good stuff. He doesn't get credit for it, but he's done a lot of good stuff. He and John Kennedy, the president who was assassinated, both billionaires. Both of them donated their salaries to charity. He would pick a different charity each quarter and donate his presidential salary. Presidential salary is like $420,000 a year, or something, $450,000, over $400,000 a year, and he donated. And Trump is one of the few people that came out of his presidency poorer than when he went in. His financial portfolio dropped about $1.5 billion during the 4 years he was in office. And they were on his ass about every damn thing. Oh, you're making money off of... Well, I mean, he owned all this stuff for 50 years, like golf courses and various things. Of course, they're still open. What is he supposed to do? Shut down everything and sell everything because he got to be president? And there are stupid people who would say that. Oh, excuse me, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I said stupid. But there are people who would expect him to do that. Take care, Wayne. Thank you. Well, I mean, and I will say this. You know, I cite examples. So, the internet came out in 1995. 1995. I was 33 years old when the internet came out. 33. Back in the days, and I think you still can. You could be in an administrative program, same thing with as teaching, and you could be working on a 5 year certificate. So you could have a 5 year certificate, which means you've got to get your you got to finish up your certification or whatever within 5 years. Uh, I was working as an assistant principal when I was working my way through my uh, principal's degree, my leadership degree. I was already working as an assistant principal in the district I was in. I was already in a leadership position. And I finished my program, and I had no trouble passing my certificate, passing the test. Passed it the first time. Now, there are people that take that test and they don't pass it the first time. And it becomes sort of an embarrassment. People start laughing because people know. I mean, if you're working in a district, you know, somebody's in a program, you know. And word gets around, they start laughing at you. It took them 5 or 6 times to pass that test. They were tutoring that person to pass that test. And they're laughing about it. And they're shaking their heads. I could tell you some stories, but I'm not going to. But I've known a couple of people that they legitimately took it 5, 6 times, and they were tutoring them. Well, no, you really can't. You know, I've been accused of being arrogant. Like, oh, he's an arrogant son of a bitch. Excuse my language. No children in here. I've got it. It's not for children. And excuse my language. Um, I do the Jackie Gleason sometimes. He was real good at that SOB thing. Um, and they say, well, he's real cocky, or he's just, no, I don't run around, you know. Every once in a while, you know, one of the kids, you know, younger folks, they like to put, like, my email address. I don't have it set up with all this fancy stuff underneath my, you know, I get it, send out email, and I just sign it, you know. I put David Lynn. It's not automatically set up for me. I'll put David Lynn, and sometimes I'll put Rise Teacher or whatever. I don't. And then they got, you know, MS or MA, blah, 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 you know, whatever. They got a graduate degree. They're in a position, you know, where they got a graduate degree. Or they start talking about their, you know, their education, whatever. So, oh, that's nice. I got 2 of those. You know, I have 2 graduate degrees. Now, mind you, both of them were before the internet. When I used to do, and I talk to people all the time, younger people, talking about how things used to be banking, how, you know, the cards used to be when you use a credit card, the way you used to do things, and the way you used to have to do research. You know, you'd go to bound periodicals. You'd have all these magazines and various, you know, trade journals and such for different things, and they bind them. You get like a year's worth bound into a big periodical book. And you'd go and you'd research stuff, look for titles and such. Or microfiche, where everything was like on negatives. And you put it in the machine and it'd project, and then you could make prints from the machine. You could print pages. I mean, people look at you and say, really? Or like when you used to go to the bank and you take a passbook with you and they put it in, they type on it. Or, you had a credit card and it was like one of these raised cards, and they put the thing down and they put like they would put a little plastic paper that had carbons, and they put it and it'd make an imprint. Then you'd sign it and they give you a carbon. Or like at the end of the month, when your statement came in, all those checks, because you wrote checks for just about everything back then, paying bills and such, they didn't have direct withdrawal or whatever. And you'd write checks, and then at the end of the month, you'd get all those checks back. And when you got those checks back, you'd get those checks back. It wasn't like they lost some of them. They didn't lose your mail back then. Back in the days, they didn't lose your mail, things like that. Things were a lot better back then. I will go give you a view on my box and leave a nice comment. It's a nice guy. You're blessed. um, and I tell you what, Widow puts out great content. She puts out really good content. I mean, a lot of people in here. I have not seen Belinda lately. I hope she's okay. Belinda's Country Living. Haven't seen her and I haven't been over to her channel. She hasn't been here recently. Last, I don't know, a few days or a week. I haven't seen her. Linda Powers, are you in here? I'm sorry. I'm talking. I'm not paying attention. I'm not ignoring you. Linda Powers, are you in here? Where are you at, Linda? I don't see the name. Oh, I'm bad. I'm bad. Yes, Linda, here you are. Thank you, Linda. Yes, you're here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. 7 in the house, 17 likes. It's slower. One thing is I haven't been doing notifications. Like Uncle Al would tell me, do a post on the fact you're going to do a live stream this evening. Do a post. I haven't had time. I apologize. I haven't been viewing. I'm not giving back and viewing the way I really need to. Haven't had time. I've been working. Now that I'm back on working, weekends are when I'll be able to do stuff. Weekends. I try to make sure I get my 1 hour live stream in. Like, my live stream's going to be over in a few minutes. Then I'm going to go to bed. And I'll give it 5 o'clock in the morning. Actually, when I get out, I need to put a load in the washing machine of undies and such, towels. I need to pull those out and put them in the dryer. I'm running low. It is what it is. But, I talk about the same things when I talk about preparedness, and everything, is have bottled water, plenty of bottled water, cases of bottled water. They're not expensive. They're more expensive than they used to be, but they're not that expensive. Have bottled water, but, the power goes out, the water may go out. You can't live without without water. You've got to have fluids to keep going. And you won't last long if you don't have it, especially if you're someplace where it's hot. Make sure you've got food to eat. Doesn't have to be expensive stuff. Have a selection. Having peanut butter, jelly, and crackers available. Or almond butter. Protein. Bread. Have a couple of loaves of bread. Um, Oatmeal, instant oatmeal. Heat the water in, make oatmeal. Cream of wheat, grits, instant. Cereal, milk. Okay, the power goes out. What are you going to do? Well, there's powdered milk or freeze dried milk. Hopefully, you got a means to keep it cold. I don't like warm milk, but milk. Have packets that you can put in your bottles of water. Lemonade, orange, grape, strawberry. What's your flavor? Tea, coffee, cocoa. Not expensive. Need a means to heat. Or if you can cool it down. That's why I'm a big advocate of having a 12-volt refrigerator freezer. I basically would use it for refrigeration. Something that runs on 12-volt power, doesn't use a lot of power. You have a battery bank or power station, solar panels, keep the thing going. That represents fire represents civilization. Being able to have cold beverages during the summertime, or when it's not freezing and there's ice out. That represents civilization. Having a supply of your medication. Hygiene products, like having wipes, sanitizer, soap, using bar soap, Castile soap, good quality Castile soap. Having a supply of razors to shave, they're not necessary, but it's civilization. It's nice. Brushing your teeth. You need to be able to brush your teeth. Having several spare toothbrushes. They're not expensive. Have several spare toothpastes. Mouthwash. Deodorant. I mean, I talk about this stuff, and most of you, I'm sure, know that, but some people don't. Or some people appear like they don't. Nine in the house. Being able to defend yourself. Some people carry knives, or they have a folding knife, or they have a Rambo knife or whatever. Having a stick, a walking stick or staff, a cane, something you can whack a dog with or defend yourself with. Pepper spray, pepper gel, a taser. With a taser, got to be pretty close. Guns. I tell people, when you're a little bit older, a little older guy or a woman or a youth, a 20 gauge shotgun, pump shotgun. You can get one for under $200 at Walmart. A 20 gauge pump shotgun. Put a sleeve on the stock, on the end of the stock, and you can put like 6 extra rounds of, 6 extra shells on it. Put a sling on it. It's not expensive. Good for home defense. If you're out and about, wild dogs, hogs, predators. You don't have to be real accurate with the shotgun. A revolver. A lot of people like these. Oh, I got myself a 9mm, 17 rounds, and I got 2 spare clips and all this sort of stuff, magazines. And I tell people, get you a good 38 special with a 3-inch barrel. If you want to, get a couple speed loaders where you shoot your 6 rounds or your 7 rounds, depending on what you got. Some of them now have 8 rounds. Have yourself a speed loader or two, or if you need to reload, basically point and shoot. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about I hit the wrong button and the magazine dropped out. You're not going to get jamming with a revolver. Very easy to operate. And they don't have to be real expensive. And you can get a used one. Go to, look in the newspaper or you can get used ones. Self-defense. Yeah, you need an inventory. Like, I'm in the process of redoing my inventory. This is my book. I got a lot of stuff in it. Got a lot of stuff written on the pages. I'm in the process of trying to redo it. Reorganizing things, figuring out what I have, how much do I need. There's a little math involved. If you're by yourself, you're prepping for yourself. If you're a family of 4, you're prepping for a family of 4. If some other people show up that you decide to keep, you're halving your preps. If you prep for 4 people and 8 people show up, or you prep for 2 people and 4 people show up, you're halving how long your preps are going to last you. So you need to consider, if you're in a group or if you're going to be in a group, well, what does each member of the group bring to the, what do they bring? What skills do they bring? What do they bring to the group? So if you want to be in a group, you need to have skills. What would you be able to bring to them? And likewise, food items and such. I mean, I prepped for 4 and there's 3 of us, but the daughter has a boyfriend that they might get married, so it's like I'm prepping for 4. And if something were to happen, if I took in more people, the amount of preps and how long my preps would last would go down. But anybody can prep for a short-term emergency. Does not cost you a lot to have a week's worth of food and a week's worth of water and items that you need. You can put all that stuff in your bag. The food and the water have an area where you keep it. You're not going to bug out, or so to speak. You're not going to leave with, if you're walking, you're not going to leave with like 240 packs of water and you're carrying it. And how far do you think you're going to carry it? Likewise with food items. You're only going to be carrying a couple days worth of food. You'll be carrying a couple of days worth of water. You're not going to be carrying a lot. So where you have your stuff, that's where you're going to be. Wheat, I appreciate you. Yeah, having candy. Having candy, hard candy, peppermints. Um, there's stuff you can get that's long-term storage. There's stuff you can get that's not long-term storage. You get a lot of these Sapacos, like the 14 or the 16 pack. They've all got Tootsie Rolls in them. The Tootsie Rolls aren't worth the crap. Everything else is pretty good components, but the Tootsie Rolls don't last. Especially if you're talking about something that's 5 or 6 years old, you don't want a 5 or 6-year-old Tootsie Roll. You don't really want 5 or 6-year-old Skittles. Some of them have Skittles in them. You don't want that. But yeah, you can get stuff and it'll last a long time. A lot of the shelf-stable stuff, you can get lots of shelf-stable. You can get shelf-stable sweet stuff that's like that they put out for the military. They got shelf-stable candy bars, food bars, sweet stuff. It's a special chocolate, or it's a special blend that's made to last a long time. It'll be good for many years. Specialty stuff, and you can order it as you can order it as extras or individuals. You can order like a set of it, of different stuff. I order a lot of individual stuff, like shelf stable cookies. They'll be good 20 years from now. You know, big old cookies. Um, Hello, Mama Four Boys. How are you doing, Rachel? Thank you for like number 18. I'll tell you, Wheat and Shaw, and I think he's using, I don't know if this is a backup channel now, Wheat, or if it's your main channel. Let me look real fast. Wheat's Art, 266 subscribers, 173 videos. I just subscribed you on my backup channel, Wheat. I think this is a backup channel. If I recall correctly, you've got a lot more subscribers than 200 and some odd. I think he was up around 500 last time I checked. So there are 3 companies that make rations for the military, make rations for the government, like what they call humanitarian rations, like when we're giving out in an emergency and there's something's happened, and they give out what they call humanitarian rations. These are rations that, that the government or FEMA, the military, give out to civilians. And they are like the military rations, but they're vegetarian. They're all vegetarian, and they don't have any beverages in them, and they don't come with what they call flameless ration heaters. And I will tell you, flameless ration heaters are good when a box is brand new, like you get a box of military rations or a box of something other. It's brand new. Within the first couple of years, they work fine. Flameless ration heaters are not worth a poop when they're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old. They don't work. You can put salt in them, they just usually will not work. Now, I will tell you that there are other countries, like the ones that that come in a Canadian or a British or some of the European stuff. They can be 7 or 8 years old, and they're still gonna heat. For whatever reason, the American ones are just cheap. They're just no. And that's why you need to be able to boil water. You put a pot of water, and you put your ration or your retort pouch, your Hormel Complete, or your Dingy Moore, or whatever you got, like a plastic, retort, 8 ounce, whatever, 8, 9 ounce. You put that in water and heat it that way. That's the way. Like if you ever watch Mike's reviews, he doesn't use the ration heaters. He puts it in a pot of water and heats it. And that's the way I usually do when I do a review. But you don't get yes, they're good. I will tell you, a lot of the stuff that you get, it depends on how it's been stored. Stuff will be quality and good stored properly. If it's stored properly, a lot longer. You don't want stuff stored in direct sunlight. You don't want stuff stored in the heat. If it's in the 70s, if it's like climate controlled, will last a long time. I have seen people do ration reviews on a 25 or a 30-year-old ration that was stored in a refrigerator. It was refrigerated. It was stored at 40 degrees or less. And you think, oh, there's no way that's going to be good. Even I wouldn't want to eat something other that's like 30 years old. I'd be pushing it 20. And I store my stuff properly. I'd be very sniff, taste, how's it affecting the tongue, you know. But, you know, you store it under ideal conditions, it'll last forever. Or it will seem like it will last forever. So how you store stuff depends a lot. Now, if you want to buy, and they're not expensive, like you have Amazon, you have Prime. I pay for Prime. I have Amazon. I want to get a case of humanitarian rations. Right now, you can get a case that's probably going to be about 6 years old for $30. You get 10 24-hour rations for $30. And you think, well, this is like 6 years old. Well, if it's been stored relatively decently, it'll be good for another 8 or 10 years or more. The shelf-stable stuff, you start looking at, like, right now, you get a 12-pack of shelf-stable cookies that you order separately. So you want to buy a box off Amazon, shelf-stable cookies. You get 12. And, like, you get 2 or 3 different flavors in that 12. $26. So they're over $2 a piece. In a humanitarian case of humanitarian daily rations, which you pay $30 for, you'll get 20 cookies. A couple of different flavors. 20 cookies. Now, you've already spent $26 to get 12 cookies. And that's just part of what's in the humanitarian daily ration case. You get 20 cookies. You get 10 Pop-Tarts. Most of them are going to be like they'll be the one particular flavor, and I just drew a blank. Just drew a blank of the flavor, but you'll get one particular flavor. Okay, crackers, humanitarian crackers, the shelf-stable crackers. You'll get 20 of the crackers. Now, I just recently bought a box of 50 crackers, 50 of the crackers. I paid $46 for 50 crackers. So they didn't have them for a long time, and I just got notification they got them. I bought a box, 50 of them, $46. So you're paying about $1 a piece for them. Well, you buy that humanitarian daily rations, you buy that case for $30, you'll get 20 of those crackers, 20 sets of those crackers. You'll get 10 peanut butters, little peanut butters. You'll get 10 jellies. I mean, you get a lot of stuff in it. You'll get 2 of the retort pouches, the mains, but they'll be vegetarian, but they'll be eatable. Think about all the individual components that you will get. You will not get any beverage powders, no coffee, no tea, no. You won't get any flameless ration heaters, which aren't worth a crap anyway, not after being 5-6 years old. But you can heat it, and you can always have coffee, tea, lemonade, whatever. Have your own little sachets. The same way they're not giving you. Well, they'll drop water. They'll be dropping pellets of water too. But I mean, if you got water, all those packets in a bottle of water. Kayla Boo. Welcome, Kayla Boo. Kayla Boo is 4.48K subscribers and 389 videos. Welcome, Kayla. I will subscribe you on my main channel. Welcome to my channel. Pasta bowls. Let's see. Order those tuna pasta bowl packets from Amazon, and they are always fresh. They are cheaper than Walmart, less than $12 for 12 packs. That is true. That is true. I go over to Walmart all the time. I go to Sam's all the time. I was checking prices. And a lot of times I can get stuff cheaper on Amazon and get it delivered. You know? Comparison shop. I comparison shop. I also like to buy stuff when, like, they have Prime. They have a Prime Day every so often. About 3 times a year they have a Prime Day. And when they have a Prime Day, or 2 days of Prime, when they have Prime, you get good deals. And that's when I spend money on expensive stuff. Stuff that's expensive, you can get like 35, 40% off, 50% off. I do. So that's like when I would buy a 12-volt refrigerator freezer or a power station or a battery. I need to do on my Power Queen. That's when I do that kind of stuff. That's when I do it. So I'd like to thank everybody that supports me. And I'd like to remind you, if you want to have the chance to be one of my, if you want your name in the hat when I draw for the 1,700 subscriber goodie box, you need to go back to my videos. I don't do that many of them. I've done about 5 videos in the last 2 months. Now, I do 1 or 2 shorts every day. I try to live stream every day. And I periodically will do community wall posts, but I don't do that many videos. So the last video I did was the Black Widow goodie box, and before that it was about a 1.5-minute one that I did on my Bouge RV CR45 compressor-driven refrigerator freezer. And then before that it was somebody else's box, I guess. I've done 5 videos recently. I don't know if I'll do another video between now and when I hit 1,700, because I'm like, when I started the video today, I was at 24 short, 1676. But when I get to 1,700, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to look at the last video and write down the names of all the people in the last that left a comment in the last video, and then we'll start backtracking for more videos, and I either check you off or I cross you out. Last 1,600 subscriber giveaway, 9 people qualified. When I did 1,400 and 1,500, both times I had over 40 people qualify for the drawing. Only had 9. I don't think there's going to be that many people this time. I don't think there'll probably be more than 9, but I don't think there's going to be that many people. So if you have not, please go back and leave me a like and a supportive comment. And I'm looking for supportive comments, on the last 5 videos I've released. And your name will go into the hat, and I'll do a drawing. I'll show the vet drawing. I'll pull it out, show the name, and I'll show loading the box. I'll let you know who the winner is. You just need to let me know the address, where this mailing address. I don't share that stuff out. I'll ask you to text me, or I'll ask you to email me your mailing address. If you want to talk to me, email me your phone number. I'll text you, and if you want to talk, we'll talk. If you want to text, we'll text. If you want just to email me, and I'll email you back. I have people that want to communicate by email. I have people that want to communicate by text, and I have people who want to talk. I enjoy it. Now, it may be a few days before I get back to you, especially if it's during the week. It's a busy week, but I usually pretty good about responding on weekends. So at this point, I will tell you, every day when you get up, thank God for the day. Thank God for the day. Say the Lord's Prayer. Take your medication if you take medication. If you're older, pretty sure you probably take something other. Take your medication, drink coffee, or you want orange juice, or whatever you do. You want your tea. Think about the day. Make lists. Write stuff down. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Be kind to people. Lead by example. And remember, you got kids, teach them right. Show your upbringing. Honor your parents. Your parents may no longer be around, but you can honor them by showing your upbringing, showing how you have been brought up. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I respect everybody. I say sir and ma'am to young people. Sometimes the best thing to do is just keep your mouth shut. Observe. Sometimes turn the other direction. Choose your battles. And yes, and everybody, life is good, but it is what it is. Remember, the Scout motto is to be prepared. Preparedness. Be prepared for things that happen. Everybody, please have a blessed day, and hopefully we'll see you back tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk. Bye-bye. Thank you.